Ohio State is probably the final team remaining in all of college football and definitely in the power conferences that has yet to play anyone challenging. So they get going in Big Ten play after the three non-conference cream puffs, and Ohio State's a 23.5-point favorite on the road in East Lansing against a Michigan State team that might be a little bit better than we had anticipated in the offseason. We got Steve Merrill, of course, here from wagertalk.com to help us break it down. And Michigan State went on the road last weekend, almost pulled out a game as about a 6-point dog at Boston College. They also have a win as a 9 or 10-point underdog against Maryland, but stepping up in class this week, Steve.
No question about it. And I've done quite well this year, not only this year, but many years in college football in September playing big favorites. Did it again last week with Penn State, blowout win over Kent State. The week before, I mentioned here on the show how I had both Miami of Florida and Tennessee a couple weeks ago. They won by a combined 133-0. So I do like to play big favorites early in the season, but that's usually non-conference games. It's a little bit different now when you start getting a conference opponent because it's more apples to apples. And my database simulation kind of projects that in this game. On average, 10,000 games simulated, I have Ohio State winning by 23.5 points. So this line is pretty much where it should be. And I think the recent results are one of the reasons it's as high as it is. You do worry about a little bit of a hangover maybe for Michigan State after that narrow 23-19 loss that you talked about last week at Boston College, especially since they probably should have won the game as they had a 4-1 turnover deficit and still only lost by 4 points. Now, obviously, they're not going to have a letdown spot against Ohio State coming in, but you do worry about that loss lingering just physically and during the week mentally. Ohio State should be able to pound the ball on the ground. They've had over 270 rushing yards the last 2 weeks. So one of the first things I always want to look at is, how well has Michigan State done against the run this year? They've been very strong. They've given up just 2.6 yards per rush and overall just 4.2 yards per play defensively. So they do have the ability to keep this game close, maybe early. They also throw for almost 8 yards per pass. So they do have a little bit of backdoor cover potential. Once again, not a lot of line value either way. I project 23.5, but I do think Michigan State has some of the makings of a big dog that you can maybe trust to keep it close.
Steve gives us tremendous value stopping by here at the Voice of College Football each and every week, breaking down the big games in college football. However, you get the far deeper dive on wagertalk.com, and Steve's got a special offer for you this week.
Right, and get one of my best bets for free with promo code VOICE25. It's an instant $25 discount. So you can choose any best bet you'd like. At checkout, use promo code VOICE25 to get an instant $25 credit to get that best bet for free. Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com.
So definitely take advantage of that, folks. That's a free $25, and then you can go on from there. And also the exclusive under the radar selection that Steve provides us here at the Voice of College Football. Become a premium member on Patreon or on our YouTube channel. Just search MarkRogersTV there. College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under the radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.